Hey, Peaches! Before we get started with tonight's episode, just wanted a big shout out to our sponsor, Darrington Press, and they wanted to let you know that the next big thing in Daggerheart is coming.
The next big thing from Daggerheart is coming!
Daggerheart, Hope and Fear. It's brand new, all new aspects to the game. It's new classes, new campaign frames, new adversaries.
New adversaries!
You can't do that.
I lunged too far.
There you go, I got you. There's a whole lot going on that GMs and players will really enjoy. You can get your copy today at daggerheart.com. And also, if you want to go to the Crit Roll shop and use our code bonus action, no space.
Bonus action! I fell. Okay, I'm sorry. Check it!
Get 50% off your order. So professional. On with the show!
Hail and well met, Internet land, and welcome to Bonus Action, where friends don't let friends adventure alone. I am your friendly neighborhood campaign manager, David Armstrong, and I am welcoming the cast back to episode number 8, when we last left off. Actually, I'll turn it over to you all.
Ooh.
Do you remember what has been happening as we have been going? It's kind of been, nonstop.
Yeah. I just went and got my echoes.
You have reunited with your echo? Yes. Marlon re-merged with his echo?
And Todd bonded with Borg Mom?
Yeah. Borg Mom and I are like this.
The Todd and Wendell and Wayne's show coming to WB.
I think he's gonna get her. I think he's gonna win her over.
And it's called The Odd Couple, but then there's a T that goes do-do-do-do.
Oh my God.
There it is.
We're the Todd couple.
All right, let's see.
Cutscene. This
It might not get picked up for. We'll film the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other relevant?
Victor and Rory and Barbie are headed off with Krusk, one of the old bard from Alistair's adventuring team.
Brother to the late.
LPPH.
RIC.
And they're going to find out some information from the protege of the witch who was a part of that adventuring company. But they're en route to her now.
It said something about you guys also got attacked by shadows, so
yes.
Implying that it had something to do with that. Did we do good, David?
You did great. You did
recapped?
wonderful. You recapped the main things. If there's anything else you want to sort of catch our audience, alert our audience to. You know, I always liked there's like the early 2000s era when people the recaps at the top of every show, it would be clips of relevant things that were going to be discussed in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if there's anything you'd like to highlight for there, I know it's a little mean, me knowing everything and asking you like, no, what's important? But, you know, if there's anything you want to highlight for the audience, please feel free to do so.
I was assisting Marlon.
Yes.
Apparently, there are other spirits out there that are trapped.
Some may be trapped, yes.
And we need to go get them.
Yep.
Whatever that means. So whatever Starlight told me is correct. There are others.
Truly.
Also, your soul's a giant.
Giant soul.
Giant soul. Literally, the giant soul. When we were playing 5e and we homebrewed Brick's sorcerer class, it was the giant soul unearthed arcana. It got play tested and never accepted into the mainline canon. And we wanted to try it again, and then we just made it all part of the lore.
Yeah.
So when it converted over to the Daggerheart, it just became pure lore.
That was kind of the fun thing about exploring that.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, it's in D&D you have to do a lot of mechanics, it feels like, but in this it's like, you just do it. Oh, okay.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
And our mustachioed friend.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh, that's
handsome
true.
jackals.
Oh, it has
Yeah.
yes, Xander, the previous owner of my sword.
Yes.
Grace and Nicholas's son showed up trying to look for his sword.
Grace and Nicholas's son tracks the haunted child across time and space, apparently. Well, the space of the realm, but
took time.
Yes, and a lot of time. I mean, yeah.
And some emotional space.
We can talk about your bucket list later, Todd.
Yeah, we made a bucket list.
Make a bucket list.
It's already done. You had 4 things on it, and it's already been
We
done.
have yet to zip line.
Oh, that's true.
Zip line.
That's true.
Somebody owes us a zip line.
And a kiwi and a banana.
Cute, yep.
Yeah, kiwi and banana.
So,
Yeah. Go watch episode 6 for the
A banana.
aborted zip line plot line. I don't remember. It's all blending together.
Hashtag justice for Zipline.
Guys, that was our finest work. Players, we really.
Real team building and team.
It happened at some point. I know I mentioned it in a previous episode, but full disclosure, we are filming this entire volume back to back to back. So it's been 3 days. This is our 3rd day of filming. We are almost done, but yeah, at some point yesterday, there was a too long discussion about zip lining, and
Some would say too short.
and honestly, there was a moment, I'm going to be totally honest here, because this is what's happening on the last day of filming. I'm going to be totally honest. There was a moment where I zoned out of that conversation, and then I zoned back in, and I was like, are we still talking? What's happening?
And you didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
You summed up.
and I looked around and was like, who's in charge here? Oh, shit.
Who's gonna rein this in? Oh.
Who's supposed to be the dad here? Oh, me. Fuck.
yes.
All right. Well, I'm also drinking tea because everything internally is shot. All right. Anyway, thank you so much, players, for recapping all of that, getting us caught up. And as Adam stated, Victor, Barbie, and Rory, we were heading out, and you had previously, at the end of the previous episode, had seen the camera zoom away as Marlon and Brick returned into the Cathedral of Sins, where Todd is hanging out with Marlon's recently reunited mother, Wendelin Wayans, and you are there as the camera zooms away and pans over to you 3. In front of you is Krusk, walking with your companion, Ares Balboa. Is there anything that you 3 would be doing? As I stated, you are walking a little behind those 2.
Rory, do you know anything about the witch that was on the team with Alistair and everybody?
I know she was of the Coven of the Moon something.
Coven of the Moon Chaser.
The Moon Chaser.
so confident.
What did you say?
I
Catcher.
said catcher.
Oh, Mooncatcher. That's fun.
I wrote it down even. I didn't look at it.
Just freeballed it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Any history lore I can roll for? In particular?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll make this a roll. Action roll. Little history. Yeah, knowledge.
Loreborn.
Loreborn. Let's do it.
Loreborn's a d6.
Hell yeah.
And I'm gonna hold on to that stuff. That is 13 plus 16 with hope. Oh nope, 16 with fear. So take that fear.
I will take that fear.
Oh.
16 with fear. Interestingly, when Ares, like in the Snyder cut version of your guys' long rest, you had like Ares went into almost in-depth details about everything he knew. Glaringly, there is very little that is known about Cyrena Locusta. A lot of the kind of similar to the real world, witches in their way were slowly villainized by society as time went on. During the heights of the Third Age, which is the previous age of Wild Country, probably the most dominant magic community were the witches, were the various covens. And the Moonchaser Coven was probably the most advanced. I will say the interesting thing about the Coven of the Moonchaser is that for the most part, it is largely a single family unit. The Locustas.
Oh.
as opposed to the other covens, which were a lot more community-based and, several families. And obviously people married into the family and whatnot, or there were, that family thing of, they're cousins, but they're not really your cousins. You're not really related. But for the large majority of it, they were all part of the Lacosta family.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned like, well, this might be Serena's daughter or niece or nephew or son or who knows, but well, I don't know.
Okay.
By the way, are you guys both looking okay physically?
Yeah.
I mean, Barbie gave me the long rest, so
You're okay?
I'm doing
Okay.
all right.
Yeah. I've point of order. Campaign manager. Am I still unstoppable? I know the scene has ended.
I will say that Unstoppable now has ended.
Great.
So you can reset that. And yes, thank you for checking in on that.
Yeah. So I am doing fine. I've got, if we get into some scrapes, I might start to get in trouble, but I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think just keep following Crest.
Just, keep on.
As you continue on, you are walking through this kind of bustling city again, noticing more and more empty lots, which I think I may have just previously described to Marlin, but now that you're all able to see the city and whatnot, you could see, again, there are like dedicated community spaces, but there are also just similar to the one now that you have found the Cathedral of Sins beneath, you see these like empty, almost purposefully left empty lots. And as you're walking through, you start to see that the community becomes a little bit more isolated, and you're basically in if you were to be on the surface world, and you're basically visiting like the witch at the edge of the woods, and as best as they can recreate down here in this like packed plateau of a city, this ramshackle city, you are seeing like the edge of town, and then like it's kind of like subtly fenced off, like people just like sort of passive aggressively were like, just keep them isolated, and no, don't worry about it. And they have kept this one kind of old looking house kind of resembling a witch's hat. Like it's kind of built a little jaggedly and a little haphazardly, but it looks relatively stable. And Krusk and Ares go up to the door and knock, and you see the door open just a crack. You don't see inside. You can see at the edge of the door that it's dark. And you don't even see a figure necessarily standing there. You watch as Krusk has to lean in a bit, and you hear a wordless conversation exchange. And then the door closes again, and Krusk turns to Ares and just waiting for a moment. And then a moment later, the door fully opens, and walking into the doorway in like this long fitted white dress that kind of, I don't know, I'm exposing the fact that I don't know how fabric works necessarily, but it drapes, it's a tight fitting dress that drapes this direction and then is sort of affixed this way somehow. So it looks like kind of, if you kind of took a witch's hat and turned it upside down and then like curled the point this way, it looks like that. And then it's like these broad shoulders and a plunging neckline. And she has this like long flowing hair on the other side, kind of completing the S curve this way. And she looks out and she says, wonderful to have some guests after all this time. I was hoping the handsome one would be joining us. Captain Antilles, we've heard a lot about you.
You have?
Yes, sorry. I shall explain a little more inside, if you'd like to join me within the house. The witch's house. Sorry. Little bit of occupational humor. And Krusk does a little like, and heads inside as well. Ares nods at you all and walks inside.
Barbie marches in.
Barbie marches in, followed by Rory, Victor.
Yep.
As you head inside, the door closes of its own volition, and you are in a like the vestibule, like the entrance hallway, which is dark for a moment, but then as you are standing there, as the door closes and your eyes adjust to the low light, these arcane candles kind of illuminate, and almost they look like real flames, but it looks like the magic controls the dimness of them, and they remain at this kind of dim light. And you hear her continuing to walk, and Krusk has already like followed her, and you hear them having some sort of idle conversation, and Ares is kind of middle-manning it, like, come on, yeah, let's go. And you continue down this hallway, and I would say out of the corners of your eye, you're walking through this entrance hallway and down this kind of narrow corridor. You're seeing that it's lined alternatingly with portraits and mirrors. And as you walk by the portraits, you can feel these eyes watching you. And as you walk past the mirrors, you could have sworn for a moment that your reflection didn't quite move with you. But when you look, it's there. It's fine.
Not again.
But you walk, as you have that thought, you walk into
Barbie
this.
waves a little bit at herself.
You wave, and it acts like a normal reflection. You continue into this parlor, and the witch continues to kind of pace around the room. Looks like she's gathering several things on these like bookshelves, and the bookshelves are like hanging over you. It's kind of this low parlor, like the tallest among you would have to crane a little bit, crouch a little bit as you're walking in. You can see the things on the shelves, like various like coffee mugs and teacups and all these like various accoutrements for beverages and whatnot are here, and they are lining all the shelves, and they go all the way up onto this like curved ceiling. So like right above you as you're ducking down, you're like, oh, these just like tea bags hanging down. And she invites you to the and one just lightly one lightly sits on your face. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so happy.
Absolutely. Leave it to Amanda to induct a teabagging joke here.
Every party needs a 14-year-old boy at heart, and Amanda's ours.
Yeah, man. Hit your shots, baby.
Is Barbie laughing too, or is it just Amanda?
Barbie's taking it in very seriously. Amanda tuned out a teabag.
It's Barbie's face, and she goes,
Yeah.
You gotta crouch.
To be fair, I should have vetted that. That's on me.
Right.
The witch is gathering more ingredients essentially, and says, "Please take a seat." And a table that was not there previously has appeared in the center of the room. Chairs sort of levitate out for you to sit. You can see Krusk and Ares. Krusk a little bit more nonchalantly is like used to it, is already like found a seat for himself, and Ares kind of very enthusiastically is joining in as well. Oh, cool, all right. And she continues to gather some things, and she says, I'm going to make a little warmed honey-made wine, if anyone objecting to that, to partaking a little bit.
That'd be lovely,
I'll
thank you.
partake.
Yes. Even if just a sip, it will calm nerves. And she begins making this tea and making this wine. And she, without turning, she says, "My name is Brietta Darkmire. And I am, I guess, the witch of this city. And I unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, we, Krusk and I, do hold some connections to all of you. She turns back over kind of her shoulder and eyes Rory for a moment again and says, "We, of course, know Valora. She was quite something in those days, and has turned into quite something now. We can discuss Krusk's and I and our blind spots some other time, but know that we probably should have done more about the signs that we did see. But you all also worked for Alistair and Sterling, also members of the party. Madame Landa, wonderful woman. Truly the best. Probably the best among us. And also, Ms. Mordusa, your father, Tarswell.
Oh, how do you know my dad?
Well, he, like myself, was a protege of the party's ranger.
Okay.
He learned and studied under him before Midoran, that was his name, Midoran Varys. Midoran wandered into the woods many years ago and never returned. He had trained his two proteges, Tarswell being one of them, and Tarswell continued, essentially took over that position as one of the wardens.
Oh. He never told me that.
Possibly never needed to come up.
Yeah.
It was a little bit tragic as well. I can't imagine what it must have been like to lose a mentor in that way.
Yeah.
Midoran was an incredible ranger. So, you hate to see the thing that someone is so proficient at eventually take them. Here, some wine.
Barbie
Please enjoy
takes
while
it
it's
and
hot.
just drinks it, and she's not really.
just
She just
just
kinda
so
goes.
hot and scalding in your mouth
She fully just
and
takes
doesn't
it.
bother
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
She finally hands the last goblet of wine, this warm wine, to Victor and says, "Victor, our group, one of our last sort of bounties, if you want to put it that way, were these Ondarian Knights.
Really?
We had come into conflict a couple of times in our own adventures, finding these dungeon delvers, as they call themselves, and your father, Captain Isvern Antilles. Yes. He, quite a leader. Quite a leader, and he outsmarted my mentor, who was part of this adventuring party. Outsmarted my mentor and this whole party as well. And Krusk pipes up as well. He's holding his goblet of warm wine. He goes, "Well, yes, there were conversations that we would have with your father.
Really?
Yes, tense, they would try to reach a sort of agreement. They had wanted the heads of the Zondarian Knights dead, and several of us thought that it would be more helpful if they were a sort of ally." And Ares pipes up and goes, you know in the play The Batman, there's a character. This is literally all Ares has ever done. It's just invent plays. He says, in the play The Batman, he's kind of this vigilante. And I work alone, and he has some allies, and one of them is Catwoman, but Catwoman's still like a thief, And Cress goes, yes, in a similar way. We thought it would be better if the Z Knights were allowed to continue their work. But if we needed them, they could come to our aid, and we would sort of get people, if other people pursued them, we could get them to leave them alone. But your father was a very reasonable man.
Was?
And he had also come to us because he had told us that he was afflicted with some sort of curse that we were unable to help with. We were never able to relieve him of this curse. And Brietta says, yes, it vexed my mentor for the longest time, Serena. Well, also my mother-in-law, if anyone wonders. But she's wonderful. Well, excuse me, she was wonderful. But yes, it seemed to be something in the nature of curses. It was not something that we could have undone, because it is not considered a curse. It is something that became natural with whatever process he took it in.
Okay. Victor takes the wine. He does not drink it, but he does a whole little actor like.
Glug, glug, glug.
While we're on the topic, can Conspiracy Rory
Yeah.
just sniff, investigate?
Sure. I will say no roll necessary.
Okay.
The fragrances are all natural, and they don't smell or taste of anything. You taste like a little bit of it. It doesn't taste like anything poisoned or anything like that.
Is Barbie doing fine after chugging it?
Barbie, yeah, I guess that's the other evidence. Is Barbie's chugged it, and except for the fact that you could see like slight steam like coming off of her as she's as she's kind of unwittingly burned herself, you don't see any ill effects on her.
How far did your research? I assume there was research done into the nature of this. Not a curse.
Well, the nature of it was a little hard to research because it is from such a bygone era. We don't have anything on it. It wasn't part of anything recorded necessarily. So, as much research as we could do.
Yeah. That makes sense. And it's kind of in line with what I've heard, what we found out.
There were also times when we had several instances where your father did ask us to try and kill him to see if that would relieve him of the curse, or curse as it were, which also were ineffective.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
We were also always worried that you inherited something from it. Have you felt anything strange?
I mean, turned to Rory and was like, we did the tick check. We didn't... The curse seemed to be dormant after the whole Kasha thing.
Her tracking you, but blue?
Oh
I don't
yeah, you
consider that
were
a-
floating.
Yeah, I don't
That was
think
a
that's
whole
a
thing.
curse. That does not feel weird. That feels amazing.
Well, they said it wasn't a curse.
Might just be a remnant.
An echo, if you will.
I mean, again, we don't fully understand what beam of light, egg, baby, all that, you know.
When he says that, can I read her face when he says that to see if there's any recognition or this is a surprise to her?
It is not a surprise. It's not a surprise.
It's hard to come in and out. Yeah.
Oh no!
I am the
She's
DM
taking
now.
over.
That's a good witch. That's an impressive witch.
It is not a surprise to me.
Can we talk to David, please?
Oh God.
Oh man,
That
he's
was
been
so
having too much of
spooky.
that honey mead.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way, witch. Behind me, you Satan. Okay.
Move, witch! Get out the way!
No, that
Lost our
was the
minds.
right joke.
No.
No. You know.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Jason, take a hope. Take a hope. I'm so sorry. Okay. The Brietta Darkmire looks unblinkingly at you when Rory says this. It is not surprising to her, and she actually, in this moment, stands and goes over to an alcove as part of this structure of the room, and like kind of built into the bookcase. She pulls like this like kind of rag that's like draped over part of the shelf, and sitting on the shelf you would remember from the nostalgia that Isaiah showed you, that room with the 4 statues. She pulls the rag off and points at the 4 recreations that she has of these same statues. And she says, well, these are not the originals, but they are recreations. They were based off of some excavation that Krusk's family did of the area where Captain Isven said that the caverns were. And we had been we thought that the statues would be our most promising lead into what ailed Captain Isven and subsequently you. But so far, very little research. But they seem to be, if other prevailing theories hold correct, they seem to be recreations of deities from an older age. Deities we would call now the Blood Saints.
Okay.
And no, that's
Can I? Is that
sorry.
familiar at all?
I was.
If I
Hang on one sec. Sorry, Rory. You wouldn't recognize that name. That's not something that's come up in research. But she points to these like stone figures, and they are rough recreations. They look. I mean, it's hard to say. You also saw it secondhand, unfortunately, but they look like they look relatively similar to the statues that you saw. And she points to each one of them and she says, the Eye of Primordia. This is this like kind of round, it looks almost like a badge, like a police badge, but then in the middle of it is a vertically lidded, like kind of yonic eye that is in the middle of this carving. And she points to the second one and says, the Fathoms Forgotten. And it is this like long, like the bottom of the stone base looks like a coral reef or some sort of sea anemone or sponge or something like that. And then rising out of it are these like long tentacles, just like carved out of stone. And she points to the third one and says, the Reanimated. And it is like kind of this like shambling, almost zombie-like humanoid figure. And she points to the last one, and the last one is, it takes a little to understand the orientation of it because there is ground that the rock is based on, and it has to be, it has to be sitting on a base, but then it looks like it's trying to depict something coming down from a like opening in the sky, which is like also molded out of the same earth, and then is like sculpted downward, and you could see this like kind of like gaping maw in the sky, and some similar to the tentacles, but different. You can't tell what they are, but like extending downward. And she says, "The nativity of despair." And we think that fourth one is the source of this curse, for lack of a better word. Don't know what it all means. It would take a lot of... I don't know. I honestly don't know what it would take, but we have hit the limit of our resources and abilities to answer anything beyond that. But I hope that this is a little more than you had previously.
I mean, that is definitely more than we had. We have a name now. Names.
None of them very encouraging.
No.
No, they're really scary. Ares has been like quietly writing all the names as well.
Ares,
Yeah,
and
yes.
those are new to you as well?
Oh, no, I've never heard of them. Yeah, I've heard sort of the Blood Saints before, but they would sort of. It's like it's scary because deities are their own thing if they exist, and they have various capacities of power and whatnot, but when a deity is created out of necessity because something is so prevalent, those are especially scary because those deities are tied to a collective will and consequence. And so the Blood Saints would have been these deities that were necessitated by countless bloody war.
And do you have any sense of are they around?
I don't know. But I mean, once a god is willed into existence, it's hard to unwill them.
But you don't know of any like current worshippers, or there are no myths about them being, I don't know, locked away very, very far away, so hard to get here.
No. So,
On
yeah,
another,
real no,
possibly
so
on
hard,
another
no.
plane
Yeah.
tied to the arc fire, possibly for any reason.
The arc fire? I mean, no, yeah. But we didn't even know what the arc fire was for a long time.
Okay.
Do you know what happened with the arc fire? Were you ever privy to what happened with us and the arc fire?
We heard rumors.
I fill Brietta in on what Kasha's plan was.
Brietta, you see her for the first time, like, she's a little bit thrown off. She puts down this wine and says, so, a young upstart Zondarian knight decided to put the fate of the universe in her own hands, eh? Sounds oddly familiar, but that is unfortunate. I'm grateful you stopped her then. I think, unfortunately, the arc fire being a dragon's egg is a bad outcome, but oddly a more manageable outcome than some of the other possibilities. She could have easily just completed her ritual and undone the universe, then none of us would be here anyway. Worrying about
fight a
what to do
dragon.
next. Right, true. Little bit of fun.
Rick is going to be so relieved.
He is, actually, yes. Ares, have you ever heard of the Camion?
Camion? Yes? Yeah. It's one of the ancient tribes of the humans, I think. I think all of this, more societies like this were underground. Elves used to be underground, dwarves used to be underground, humans. Yeah. And I think the Camion was some sort of tribe of sorry. Oh my god.
Can we speak to David,
Absolute
please?
brain fart.
Dude, Blood Saints is like an excellent heavy metal band name, and I just keep thinking Blood Saints and their new album, Nativity of Despair.
Musical guest, Blood Saints.
Blood Saints.
Sorry.
Also, I'm taking Gaping Maw as a drag name.
I really didn't want to say gaping maw, especially after the teabag joke.
Sorry.
No apology necessary. But I had a brain fart as Ares, which slowly turned into my brain fart. The what was the question? I'm so sorry.
Camion.
The Camion. The Camion, Ares says, well, one of the interesting things was that the Camion, according to some of the history files, they've never been formalized into academic history books, but because it's all a little bit apocryphal and hard to confirm. So the Camion would have been one of the first human tribes, human collectives to harness magic. And they were also the most skillful thing about humans that has always persisted throughout their history as an ancestry is that they've always been very accomplished at building tools. That was the start of kind of civilization in Wild Country as well. And so the Camion, one of their legends that are associated with them is the combining of weapons and tool making and imbuing them with magic.
Okay.
They think that's where the kind of unofficial wizarding school of something like blade singing would have come from. I'm drunk. Never been drunk before. I normally have this enchanted mug that keeps me from never getting drunk. So I never get drunk. But now I am. Very cool.
Well, that connected a few dots. And I think that's probably safe to say that at least one of these blood saints is not currently in this realm, but is in a realm close to us and wants to get here. And maybe is specifically looking for me.
Brietta looks at you and shrugs and says, well, possibly, yes. You are all wanted by the eyes, for sure, but yes, you are also, many in your party, are moving targets for forces unseen at the moment.
Blade Singers. It's a cool name.
It sounds like something that could make you really awesome.
Well, more awesome.
You're already quite handsome.
Now?
Sorry.
Are you single?
Brietta goes, what? I live alone at the edge of these woods.
Kresk mentioned something about you. Have you also been dealing with shadows?
Oh yeah, we got attacked at the tavern by a bunch of shadow creatures.
Is that a local pest problem, or?
It is not persistent yet. It is just something that I've noticed. You may have, when you were walking down the hall just now, may have noticed that my mirrors are slightly out of sync.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, an observant one you are.
Thank you.
If you don't mind me saying, darling, you should learn to trust your instincts more.
Oh, okay.
No
I'll
room
try.
for second guessing in this realm.
Yeah, just sometimes my instincts lead us to places that have consequences. You know?
No. They lead you to adventures. They lead you to opportunities to grow. The shadows, the mirrors are a reflection of that. They are slightly out of sync because something is moving. I'm sure by now you've probably heard of Shadow Swan.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And actually, it is all right that he is not here, but I was hoping to speak to your gnome friend as well. And hopefully in time. But the Shadow Swan, yes, it is an easier place for them to reside here in the darkness. They can move quite easily, quite unseen, because they are moving through the shadows. They themselves are shadows. They are beings who gave up mortal elements of themselves to strengthen their bonds with the shadows, to the point where they lose, I know we call it humanity, but that is a little exclusive, I think, sometimes. But for lack of a better word, they lose their humanity, become literal shades of themselves. But the Shadow Swan are always controlled. There is someone at the helm, always. Perhaps in several tiers, so there would be someone controlling a group of shadows, and then someone controlling that controller. We have no idea how far back it leads, but...
Like an army hierarchy.
Exactly.
Mm.
Is there a way to discern or divine that hierarchy?
Well, actually, we were hoping, and this was what I had to speak to your friend about, we were hoping that if we could sort of bait the Shadow Swan into a confrontation, a controlled trap, as it were, that we could bait out the commander of that group.
So we'd use Marlin as bait?
I hate to put it so frankly, but yes, which is, again, why I would want to speak to him directly.
Well,
And-
he's in the middle of a trial, but would you like to come with us?
I can, yes. Is he unable to come here?
He's currently in the middle of
Well,
something.
yes,
which we would-
currently, but
yeah.
when
I mean,
he's-
they said
yes.
he'd be done in like 15
Yeah,
minutes,
which
so we got
I mean, we should
Yeah.
probably
we'd probably go get him, and we could come back.
Lovely home.
Yeah,
Lovely
of
home. No,
course.
not to
I
be
would
rude,
like
but like
another glass of wine when we come back. If
I would love.
that's
Yes.
cool.
We have, yes, there's wine for days, as they like to say.
Roy points to there's a cross-stitch pillow that just says "Wine for days."
But then there's a little H that's like been put in there, and it's about whining.
Wine,
and-
yeah.
Live, laugh, wine for days.
There's a
T-shirt.
wood burned thing on the bookshelf just behind her, and it says "Wine o'clock." And she nods and she says, "Yes, well, yes, I understand. You're not trying to run away. So if you want to go and collect your friend, and we can see."
Is your thought just if we kill a bunch of shadow people, then the head honcho will just come and try and stop us? Is that the plan?
In a way, yes.
Roy, you
Yes.
could pull that trick you did at the parade. Or can you still pull that trick from the parade?
I'd rather not.
Oh.
I don't. Someone looks at around over people. I'm not on the best terms right now, and I don't know that I can try something. I could try something. I mean,
Ares leans over to Kruskin and Brietta, who he's sitting the closest to, and just goes, "Warlock." And Brietta nods and says, "Ah, yes.
yeah.
Young Infernus, I sensed that you had some pact-bound magic about you. But I will say, for your grace, if you wish to not use it, you shouldn't. I think you are stronger without it."
It's a last resort if it can be helped.
Okay.
But I think I can. We're flexible.
Okay.
We can do stuff.
Brietta leans forward again and continues. She hasn't broken eye contact with you. She goes, "I knew the Coven of the Stitch well. There are better answers in that Stitch book. And there are better answers with someone like you and someone with your heart at the helm."
I know we got to get back, but you knew them well. Did you know a Stitch Witch who worked for the Royals and served Queen Elena? Maybe an Infernus?
Rebecca.
Rebecca what?
I never knew her last name.
Thank you.
They told Rebecca that she would never be able to stitch like the other witches. They villainized the Infernus and told her she would burn the fabrics that she tried to make. That, of course, is something that an Infernus can control. It's not like they're on fire all the time. And Rebecca was a lonely woman, so she and I had something in common.
When was the last time you saw her?
She couldn't have been that much older than you are now. She seemed to be in a sort of panic. I sensed it was something she was not telling me, which was that she was pregnant. And that was the last time I saw her. She never even told me that she'd had a little boy.
all just learning stuff today.
I do hope this meeting has proven helpful to you in some way.
Very much
we
so.
have-
I apologize if some of this
No,
is
please
hard
don't.
to hear.
Please don't apologize.
Very well.
I, in the interest of above table here, I have a couple more questions for her.
Sure.
But if we want to like go back and get our Marlon and Bricken and Todd, I can like ask this stuff like off screen and like kind of move things along a little bit because I don't want to belabor the scene. But
Or if you like, what you can do, you could send Rory and
yeah, that's
Barbie
what I was
back,
thinking. Yeah.
and they
That
can
is-
go retrieve everybody else, if you'd like, and we can cut a little bit back and forth between that and here.
Before Barbie goes, she goes, Victor, don't murder anybody while we're gone. Just, okay, bye.
So you'd have to put up with.
He should be more
Brietta.
worried about her, honestly. I mean,
Breanna nods and just goes, seems like you have a wonderful dysfunctional family.
Before we go, I was like, I'd love to go back. Xander, everything okay out there?
Oh, hello. Yes. Yeah, everything. Yep, seems fine. Are you all right? You're all
Yeah,
alive?
Barbie and I are about to come back, but I'm
Okay.
gonna sever the connection and leave it with Victor.
Oh, all right. Very well. So, Xander Erse signing off.
Good job. And then I will I'll spend the hope and stab you in the neck.
Ares goes, unhygienic.
It's a fresh needle.
Absolutely gross.
Fresh
heats it
needle.
up. Just don't do too hard, he'll poop.
Then it's coming. Howie.
As you two are leaving, is there anything you discuss? I imagine I want the camera to follow you two first.
Sure.
If there's anything you think of.
You okay, Rory?
No, but I'm not. I don't need. How are you?
I'm fine. Do you want me to pick you up? Piggyback ride. Or something fun? Just to take
That
your mind
is-
off of it?
That is very, very sweet. But no. Sorry, I'm juggling the stuff with that I with
No, it's okay.
Rebecca and then also
Yeah.
Avelia, and I just want you to know that none of us hold you responsible for the time lost.
Oh.
Avelia knew, and she could have given a heads up. She could have told me. We could have gone to Titania, and she let us walk into that. She let me enter into a deal that can't be undone. She knew. She's a sister. She could have told me. The other one, they couldn't get to you fully because of Lily Bill, but Avelia had a line to me. So if it's anyone's responsibility, it's hers. Okay?
Okay.
You're the Watcher of the Wild. You are champion. You are a badass. And if I do nothing else in my life but help you be the best Barbie you can be, I'll have lived a very good life.
But no, you're doing so many more things. You've already the internet and and like, you know,
I didn't.
all of these, like you are so like powerful in this like really unassuming way, which is just really cool. Because like I just hit stuff, you know what I mean?
You don't just. I mean, yes, you hit
You're
stuff, and you are
so
very
smart.
good. You are surging wild magic over the case, and I feel like we could go back and forth like this,
Yeah, probably.
talking each other up, and I don't think
But
either
just,
of
like,
us are
all the
very
mom
comfortable
stuff,
with it.
Just don't let it get to you, okay? Because like, you're so great. We're like so lucky to have you. Like, you carry us. You know what I mean?
I'm glad that I have this family. It is. I've never really. I've never thought I was somebody who felt like my name was important. Rory's what they called me at Foxglove, and then that wasn't refined enough for Valor and Derek, so it became Aurorian, but at least I had Estelar at the end of it, and I never liked it, never felt good, I never wanted to use it, but suddenly not having it and not feeling a little nameless. But now at least I think I'm Rebecca's son.
Rory Rebeccason. Huh?
It doesn't have it's a good option if nothing else can be found, but I would yeah.
Or you could do like I'm like Barbie the Dainty. You could be like Rory the Stitcher. Rory the, and then this just
Gets us all the way back.
And it's
all the way back.
It starts to move away.
Sever.
The camera moves over you two as it returns back down underground, passes Xander Ersay, who's just filing his nails as you head
Playing a bubble game.
Yeah.
I also
you handed it. Try the new one.
real quick.
Yes, please.
Side note: I've been so ruined by the internet and YouTube that I knew I was writing it wrong, but I wrote like a little older than me, and I wrote Pregante. Because of that one video. Yes.
Pregnant.
Like, and I knew I was writing it wrong, but I was like, she was Pregante.
Yeah. We've been brain rotted to death.
Oh man. So Pregante.
Oh,
We can't tell stories anymore.
the memes.
The memes are overtaken. We head underground and we return as in this moment just you two stepping back out of the glass that depicted the echo chamber, and Todd is rambling on here in a pile of puzzles, and as annoyed as a half Magitech woman scientist could look, she looks at you two and very patiently goes, "If you don't mind, I would love for this to speed up a little bit, because this is breaking me."
All of her cooling fans.
But you're hearing the laptop, laptop. She stands on this what looks like a weight scale, but it's like that laptop cooler. So she's like, "I've got to. I need to." Yeah.
I feel like Todd's in the middle of verse 27 of the song, and he's like, "And that's when Barbie punched the zombie."
I might have I might have questions for you, but I might have someone that can ask them maybe a little bit better.
Very well.
Can I trust you?
Trust me?
Yeah.
As in, you trust, I will not betray you?
Yes?
Yes?
Torch.
You see her hold the cane up and something lights up in the platform, and it is ready to for Torch to sit on, basically.
And then I have Starlight come out too, and she's
reconfigures the 2 platform.
you're gonna stay with me, darling, but there are more of these. I'm not totally sure exactly what they are, I think I know.
Hmm.
But if you could maybe talk to Torch, maybe you know something. But I think they're trapped. And I have to get them.
All right. We will. Torch, you said?
Yes.
Torch, you and I will have a conversation. Torch goes, all right, weird lady. We'll have a conversation.
But also, you'll have someone else to talk to, so you are welcome.
Oh, thank you. Do you have an extra bubble game for him?
Oh, sure. I throw him like 4. I've got just bubble game.
Todd's so into the song, just 4 things, just.
Look down. Keep singing.
She nods as Torch floats next to her on the arcane, and she looks at you and says, all right, good luck. You two step in front of the reflection stained glass window.
Yeah.
And it very similarly after you hear some buttons, some beeps and boops, starts to liquefy. And you two may step in if you like.
Let's do this thing. Starlight comes back into the hammer for safekeeping.
All right. Let's go.
You first, pal.
You two step in. We'll talk about what you see in a moment. Victor, we cut back over to you. You're sitting opposite Brietta Darkmire. Admiringly, she is looking at you.
So this is so confusing. I don't understand the look she's giving
What
me.
is confusing about it?
Uh,
Do you not realize you're an attractive fellow? Are you unaware?
I lived on my own for a decade. I don't
So
know.
you have never seen a reflection of yourself, or
No, I mean I
no
have
one has
now, but
ever complimented you, or
no, compliments have definitely not been a regular part of my life.
how unfortunate. You should be receiving them more. Many people should be receiving them more.
True. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is. I don't know if you can do this. I didn't want to do this in front of everybody else because I
Oh,
feel like I was kind of. I don't know. I really appreciate it, but I kind of felt like everyone else is a little like rolling their eyes at me because you mentioned something about a curse, and I kind of
alright.
did not refer to it as such.
Mhm.
But I was thinking, if you seem extremely knowledgeable about different schools of magic,
Mhm.
and I was wondering if you could possibly analyze, get a read on, maybe sense the origin of possibly something along those lines of the magic that's inside of me, because they refer to me kind of glowing blue a little bit, and there is magic inside of me. I've only recently really been able to access it on command, and if what you're telling, if what you came up with, or the history of my people, that's weird to say, was to the first people really to harness magic and make tools out of them. I was possibly, if you could sense the magic in me and maybe have some sense of what it is, because I've been able to do some interesting things with it in the past couple of days that I don't think I've ever seen anyone do.
I can try, certainly. If that is something you're willing to do,
Yeah.
very well. I will ask you to take something, if that's all right. As in, I can mix it in a little bit more of the wine. I noticed you didn't drink your first glass, but
You picked that up, did you?
I'm a witch, darling.
Okay.
I'm practiced to notice these things. So you will have to trust me. There is a little bit of a reciprocation here.
Okay.
If you imbibe it, then I will be able to track something, and we will essentially try and divine something as you imbibe it. Is that
Okay.
all right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. She takes your goblet and empties it out. She's going to make a fresh glass, and she, in full view of you, mixes the drink now, and she starts to explain what it is, basically, and eventually she brews something that seems vaguely similar to nostalgia, which Isaiah had you take to see this collective dream, and it seems somewhat similar, and she actually mixes 2 servings of it. She's going to take some as well, it seems. And after a few minutes explaining these ingredients, and it's kind of this very like, I imagine there's a world in which I imagine that it's very similar to something that like Victor and Rory would have done, where it's like Victor would ask Rory about something and Rory would be able to like info dump a bunch of things, and Victor can sort of just idly like a parallel play almost sort of situation, you know. And Brietta was doing the same thing as she's making these drinks, and then after explaining all the botany that goes into it and all that, she places the drink in front of you, sits again, and also is going to take the drink as well, and she says, "All right. I cannot guarantee that this won't be stressful, but I assure you that no harm will come to you."
Okay, that's fine.
Cheers, my dear. You both drink, and we cut over. Marlin and Brick, you are standing in this beautiful, reflective, shallow pool of water. You feel the sensation of water up to your ankles, but it is not wet. So when you kind of lift your feet out of the water, each foot, they are instantly dry. You put them down again, and again, you feel this like enveloping of water, but there is no coldness to it or warmth to it or anything like that. And there is a moment and a pause, and I'm going to ask you, as the players and as the characters, a light and pane of glass shimmers in front of you, and I would like you to describe for me what you imagine Brick and Marlin look like in a future that they would desire for themselves. I just looked over at Jerron, and I feel like I knocked him so hard.
So, existential.
Now I'm drinking.
I imagine Marlin slowly walks over to the reflection, and he sees himself in the future, and has gray hair, and he's with a bunch of people, and it's all of his friends that he's made here on this adventure, but then there's also like little kids that I imagine are his grandchildren. And they're all laughing and celebrating together. And where the group is teaching our grandkids, my grandkids, about what we went through and all the adventures we had, and they're delighted by it, and some of them are bored by it, and they're tired of hearing it. But yeah, it's the possibility of a beautiful life and a beautiful ending.
Right.
And I think one of the grandchildren from his reflection runs out the door and down the lane. And there is a large and ornate blacksmith shop. and it's just down the lane, and the large door swings open, and there is just a room full of just delightful work-bound chaos. It's Brick who's building some kind of something for Todd, and they're drinking and working, and you can see all sorts of bits and bobs made for the entire party, and Marlon's grandson is welcomed in and given a warm, hot cup of cocoa from a spirit that we haven't met yet. And there are you have Starlight is sitting in the Moorsheim's Rest, which is something that has not been built yet, hovering above, lighting everything. And then we have and then Torch is keeping the main furnace alive as Brick laughs with Todd and cheerses Marlon's grandkid with his cocoa as well.
And may I ask, what does Brick look like in this future?
It's he's a little bit rounder. He's a little bit more crow's feet. I think the goggles have transitioned to tiny little glasses in front, and he's just warm.
Yeah. Glowing peacefully with embers, lights of the forge, surrounded by youth and grandkids and all of this that are generations removed, safe from all this chaos and unknown right now, this struggle and this fight and this violence. You are surrounded by lights and the sounds of familiarity and home, and I imagine, in the same way that Starlight was passing from one shoulder to another over your shoulders, you were designing the something similar to the Labor's Melody that she will eventually live in. I imagine in this, if you'll allow me, Todd, I imagine that Todd and Starlight are essentially switching positions as you're building this thing, and they're both giving notes as you're happily accepting, and modifying as you go along. And Marlon, you are getting to essentially like hold court with all of these youth, and like you said, some of them are bored, sure, but you could tell like some of them sitting right up excitedly right in the front row, some of them like on their knees excitedly, like and then waiting for the next part of the story. They haven't heard it yet, or if they have, they're always excited, because I think, if you'll allow me again, I imagine that Marlon is very good at now telling these stories and just adding in a little bit more flavor each and every time. So there's always something a little bit more exciting, even if you've heard it before. Some of these kids are, I want to see what's different this time. All of this excitement and cheer and familiarity starts to fade, but in this peaceful way. It's like kind of at the end of the day. Things are working, and you see the two of you in the collective dream, in these collective reflections, kind of stand from where you are in this, like, these wide vignettes that are happening for each of you. Marlon stands up from this like rocking chair in front of all the grandkids, and like all the grandkids are like being picked up by the respective parents and being taken home, and you stand in face to face like a reflection would in front of you in this pool. And Brick, you do the same thing. Done for the day. Clock out. Todd leaves. Todd, all the spirits follow Todd. It looks like they're all going whatever, and you can hear like the Todd's Tots theme in the background as they're like heading out to help the Tots with something. And you step forward as well.
They play laser tag.
Yes.
They're the lasers.
Yes. They're in an ultra zone. And you step forward as well, and you're each standing face to face, and it feels like here on the other side, you, Brick and Marlon, are standing shoulder to shoulder, and yet also miles apart. You're in your own worlds, in this collective imagination, and you're staring back at this other person, and as you try to do the mirror thing where you're like tilting your head a little bit and moving in front of them, they are not moving in sync with you, but they are moving kind of happily and curiously. They are looking, it looks as though, you know, it is those scenes, but I think it's a very real thing. It's sometimes we have that nostalgic thing about looking into a mirror, and as you're looking into it, you're seeing a past self. And so you're watching you two watch a future self of you see their past selves and smile and remember a different time, a time that was uncertain and scary, and you never knew 100% of the time that you would be okay and that you would even make it to these future selves. And as you have these feelings of embracing those future selves, of accepting these memories that you are yet to have, how does each of you feel? How does Marlon and Brick feel in this moment?
Relieved.
Happy, but filled with the sense of there's so much more to do to get there.
With this sense of both relief and a sense of purpose, you feel this presence, and unlike where the echo reached out to you, Marlon, and asked verbally to be accepted, you feel the yearning of this reflection longing to be accepted as well. And so in this feeling of relief and in this feeling of purpose and drive, I ask if you both accept this version of yourself.
Yeah.
Of course.
As you accept it, as you embrace this self, you see the reflection start to move through time backwards. Your hairs and beards and mustaches, whatever, start to de-age and ungray. The wrinkles and the laugh lines shallow. The crow's feet shallow as well. And they start to move and catch up with where you are at present. And suddenly, they are just the reflections of you. They start to move in sync with you. There is a kindness and acceptance in their eyes that maybe you don't always feel that you have, but the reflections have for you. And you feel this connection in your mind that speaks to you in your own voices that says, let's get you there. We'll get there together. And the mirrors fade. And you are standing again in this peaceful, shallow water. The sounds of these futures fade. And it is peacefully silent.
That was wild.
I want that for us.
Too.
But I think we're gonna have to fight like hell to get it.
Mm-hmm. But it's good to see that it's possible.
Okay.
Marlon, you hear in the echoes of the past, the words of Master Larkspur. He says, my hope has always been that you don't have to fight for what you hope for, but I fear that you will. And I'm sorry. But I know you are strong. And you will be all right. You will be all right. You feel behind you the portal open for exit as well.
Ready to go?
Sure thing, pal.
As you step back into the Cathedral of Sins, I'll cut back over one more time. Victor, you and Brietta, you don't realize it, but you had your eyes closed for an unknowable amount of time. You just didn't realize. You sort of blinked and stopped.
Okay.
And Victor, you suddenly hear the voice of Brietta go, Victor.
Brietta?
Sometimes in the new spaces, you have to be verbally reminded. Open your eyes. As you open your eyes, you are in a similar ethereal space to where you were brought when you transported with the sword. Similar, but different. Seems to be another unique pocket dimension adjacent to this one. Brietta is gently floating. You are also floating in this space. And she says, all right. With your permission, she places her hands on each of your shoulders. And you are both like floating now. And you feel this like sensation of floating upwards. And she is looking into your eyes. She says, now, I will periodically have to close my eyes, or you may see, unfortunately, a super creepy thing where my eyes roll into the back of my head. I need you to, as much as you can, maintain your eye contact with me.
Okay. I'm blink a couple times, get ready for it.
Blink it out, blink it out, blink it out. And she goes, very good. Now, it may happen sort of sudden, and she immediately, her eyes roll into the back of her head, and you just hear, as she starts to chant, and you hear this like ancient, it's now like the very witchy, like chanting ritual, and it is this ancient tongue that you have never heard of, and that it almost seems like made up and no one's ever heard it before.
Sorry.
And she, Cynthia Erivo screams in your face, that's my line. And you feel a chorus of chanting begin around you and your ears, around your ears, and you realize also that that in that warning, Brietta was warning you against having to blink or look away towards things that you can see in your peripheral vision, and what feel like threatening moves and approaches towards you. You could feel in your periphery, like as this chanting happens, you could feel like some of the chanting and figures that are doing it come like right close to your head, just like charging towards you, and then they move away. They fly away at the last moment. You are, again, safe from harm, but it feels like a hostile environment, an incredibly hostile environment. And then it stops, and it is silent, and all you hear is Brietta quietly going, show me, Victor, show me, Antilles, show me the path, the cord that ties him to the past. What is this cord? Where does it lead? Show us the end of the string. And you start to see the same vision that Brietta is seeing. What Brietta is seeing, and her eyes are rolled into the back of her head, on the backs of her eyes you can see what she is seeing, and you're seeing this vision. You're seeing baby Victor held by Captain Isvern Antilles, flanked by Atarx Taishan, Isaiah Zobel, walking out of this cavern. You're seeing that in the past. You're seeing a baby being placed into this like time-locked pod and sealed, and these 4 statues being put in place. You're seeing an ancient society, a proud royal society, rising from nothing in the underground, in the darkness. A kingdom of beauty and elegance, and these arcane, not just weapons, but arcane architecture. Cathedrals and castles and mausoleums, all of these buildings built out of completely arcane means. There are no building materials involved. There looks like in the middle of all the things, it looks like in the middle of one building to just make this one building, they imbued this one magical staff, and then it basically lit this projection of a like clock tower, and the whole thing is arcane and illusory but solid. It is real. It is a real clock tower being projected into reality. And you're watching this entire civilization evolve and move out of the shadows and create their own light. And you see a family. You see this king and queen having a baby, having delivered a newborn. The same newborn, you're watching it backwards in time, and then you're watching something move forward in time. You're watching suddenly the lights and devastation of fire and destruction as the city starts to come under siege. And you see something similar to that statue, the 4th statue of the Nativity of Despair, swirling open in this huge cavern of infinite darkness, almost as if it's its own sky. You're seeing this cloud of thunder and lightning and like hail and fire open, and then these lightning tentacles reach out as this voice, louder and more inhuman than anything anyone has ever heard, scream out as it says, "The bloodline, this blood is mine, mine to behold. I will not be held in the void. I will make the void mine once again." And the one hope that you carry as this little child, this defenseless baby, none of the magic, none of the blessing, none of this arcane advancement in technology can go with you. All that can go with you are the hopes and blessings of your mother and your father as they place you in this pod and push it forward in time. You see the pod leave, and you see this Nativity of Despair take the city as it pulls it up into this cloud. You could see this maw descend to receive it and undoes it from existence. And you could see it continue and starting to pursue you in through time. And then you feel this whole thing, even though it lacks eyes, you feel it turn towards Brietta in this vision, and it moves all of the tentacles simultaneously towards you, and you feel it move towards Brietta, and in the eyes, in the back of her eyes that are watching you, you suddenly see 2 bolts of lightning just start to towards you, and faster than light, she closes her eyes and moves her hands away.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you all right? It was trying to reach for you, but are you all right? Unharmed? She grabs you again and it's turning you in this floating space. Do you feel anything? Unharmed? Any scars? Anything that burn?
No, I feel fine. Physically, I feel fine.
The mark that Rory had found. Yes.
Yep.
The birthmark.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to touch it, is slightly warm. As if it had been held over a fire for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then pulled away. She... I don't want to alarm you, but maybe that was a mistake. When I said it was reaching for you, I meant it was reaching for you here, now. I don't understand this power, but it saw you now. I apologize.
Don't. I have a target. I have a mission. I have a purpose. I am the vengeance of an entire civilization. I gotta go kill a god.
You're going to have to kill a fucking god.
Hey, just checking in.
As you say, hey, just checking in. We follow that, like the phone line, like it's the Matrix shot, like down the phone line.
This is gold yarn. This is cool.
A whole spool of yarn. Going back to Rory. Rory, you and Barbie descend back into the Cathedral of Sins.
Just as we go in,
Please, yes.
I just want to
Absolutely.
stop. We've gotten all the Barbie's names, and I just I reach out and I just put a hand on Barbie's shoulder and say, I just wanted to say, since getting back, you and Todd have been really great role models for finding the fun in life, and I've tried to loosen up and just be grateful for what we have, and so thanks for having me along for, the fun.
I really appreciate your support on the zip line idea. We'll get him to
We'll
do
get
it.
it.
We'll get it.
I've been making designs in my head.
Really?
Yeah, they're plans. Could do some
great.
cool stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait till it's super effective, and then we say like, well, if you want to take the sword down, you can take the sword down, but we're gonna take this super cool zip line, and yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
But just thanks.
Absolutely. And then you do your check-in as you.
Everything good?
Yes. As you say that, you hear a confirmation on the other side as Victor, you and Brietta start to return from this dream space. You two descend back into the Cathedral of Sins. Cog comes and receives you at the door, escorts you back over to where, as you are coming back out, as you are coming into the space, Brick and Marlin just appear. Todd, now quietly having solved, how many of the bubble games have you done?
I think I've done them all, and they're all just sitting on top of me. I'm just on a giant pile, and I think I'm conked out. I'm crashed. I'm sleeping. I'm just
tuckered him out.
Barbie and I are talking quite loudly.
Yeah. I'm just snoring loudly.
Put Cog on his face.
And just sits there very peacefully, like does the frogs don't do this, but the frog does the cat butt like nestle. And you two rejoin Marlin and Brick here.
Hey, you guys okay? You did it?
Good.
Yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Almost. There's one more left.
Oh.
Okay. And that's if I recall, that's
The Alreda?
we don't have that, right?
Yeah. So you don't have a means to get the Alreda now. So you have the two that you would have come for essentially.
Do you feel different?
Complete?
Emotionally.
Great.
It's huge.
That last one was really nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Do you guys want to know what we saw?
Yeah.
Only if you want to tell us.
I was an old man. My hair was gray. I had on a sweater. Collar still popped. And I saw all of us as older people, and I had grandkids. So someone liked me at some point. And I was telling all my grandkids the story, and the story of us and how we met and all of our adventures, and they're sitting around. And
We live down the street from each other.
yeah, we all live in the same.
It's pretty
neighborhood.
cool. Like a little cul-de-sac situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, we had our own little corner.
Todd ages very well.
He does.
Actually, he looks great.
Yeah.
I believe it.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I could feel it in the visualization. We're all jealous. We're all
He
mad.
hides a lot with the beard, yeah.
You all turn towards the mirror and the stained glass mirror reflection. And on the other side of the glass, Marlin and Brick, your reflections are gone. And standing alone on the other side of the glass, tapping on it, slicked back blonde hair, faded skin, and this tattered suit. And only Rory recognizes the face.
Belkin fucking Black?
I found you.
No way!
And we'll see you all next time on Bonus Action. Join us here next time. Good night, Wild Country.
You know, I literally had the thought, I was like, I wonder if that guy's ever going to come back during this session.